Welcome to Scorched Earth and a reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of July. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, have a look in the description box below. There's a link down there that will help you. And then you should come back and watch your Moon and Rising signs, because they'll give you a better idea of what's going on with you overall. Then you'll get from just a Sun sign. Some people even resonate with their Moon sign or Rising sign more than their Sun sign. So, thank you for waiting. I know that these readings are late, but I know that the vast overwhelming majority of you know that this is my life. I take this very, very seriously. So please rest assured that I wouldn't make you wait unless it was really important. I've had some stuff going on, so I've had to had to prioritize that. But it was absolutely not my intention to keep you waiting any longer than you had to, and I'm here. Let's hope that this reading makes up for the wait anyway. I also want to say thank you to the people who've come over to Patreon to support me there. Like, the vote of confidence is overwhelming. I really, really appreciate it. It's, like I said, I take my work really, really seriously, and to see that there are people out there who value it in the same way that I do is, it warms the cockles of my heart, to say. So, what else? Oh, it's a year on Tuesday since I started on YouTube, which I think is kind of worthy of celebration. So I'm planning on having a live stream, but not on Tuesday because that's a shit night for a party. I'm going to do it on Sunday night instead. Not a Saturday night because I just don't have the staying power any more than I used to have. I'm going to do it on Sunday the 5th. It's already scheduled, so you should be able to find it on the channel somewhere, for 7 p.m. GMT, +1, because we're on summertime. So that's going to be like, I don't know, early afternoon, late afternoon for people in the States. So if you want to come along, I would really love to have you. I've got a giveaway, so I've got some books. I'm probably going to give away a free reading as well, actually, I would think. And I'll do some readings on the night as well. I'm going to limit it to like one card, one question to get through as many people as possible. But I just want to kind of hang out with you all and celebrate the fact that I'm here and that you're here and that it's awesome. So, connection and all that. I think that's everything. That I have to say. So let's get you some cards and see what is going on with you in July. So I have 3 cards for Taurus, please. Oh, there's the first one. We've got the 3 of Cups. Yeah, that's in your recent past. Let's see more cards for Taurus current energy. So, oh, we've got too many. That's 4. I'll put those back. Not even going to look at them. Shuffle them back in. Let's have Taurus's current energy, please. King of Swords. That's interesting. It's the card of Aquarius in the sword suit. Pretty good. Let's have a look. What's coming towards Taurus? What does Taurus need to know? What does Taurus need to know about? Got 7 of Wands and the 9 of Cups. Now that is interesting. At the bottom of the deck we've got the Hermit, and that is Virgo energy, major arcana numbered 9. Let's get some clarifiers and we'll see what this is all about. Completely forgot to check which deck I wanted to use to clarify before I even started. So, John Bauer, rightio. Give these a good shuffle too. I hope you're all well, by the way. Combination of Mercury retrograde and Cancer season has got me a bit like. So, let's have a look. There's 3 of Cups here, please. Taurus. Right, fuck it. Do you know what? I just looked at my little cauldron because I was like, ooh, just give these cards a little bit of a going over. And then there was nothing coming out of my cauldron. There we go. Right. Let's just give these a quick clean. Just in case. That'll do. Right. Let's try that again. 3 of Cups, please. Is it here for the... Yeah, I see. They were feeling a bit mucky. We've got the 3 of Wands. 2 3s. Oh, Lord. We've got several cards have come out here. Trying to decide if I want to take them or not. One of them is the Wheel of Fortune, which is interesting. It seems like you've learned something in the recent past. We've got the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Wands. Do you know what? I will take it. Fuck it. We'll do it. Right. King of Swords, present energy. Got the Moon. I'm the King of Wands. King of Wands. Not sure I'm comfortable with that energy coming right and back in, but okay. That's Seven of Wands and we've got the Two of Swords, Seven of Wands and Nine of Cups. Ooh, we've got two together. There you are, Taurus, and the Eight of Wands. Right, let's see what this is all about. Oh, we've got the Justice card on the bottom of the deck. That is very interesting indeed. Okay, so the two shadow cards are the Hermit and Justice, and they both talk about what the fuck is going on with the light in here, man, right? That's better. Right. The Hermit and the Justice card, both major arcana, and they're both really, really important. One of them, the Hermit card, talks about going within, right? And this is important because ultimately all the answers for everything that you ever need are within you, right? I swear to God, there's something in this turret with me. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of floating around. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Sometimes I get people telling me that they've seen stuff kind of wandering around in here. I swear to God, something just moved. Anyhow. It's about going within, right? Getting to know yourself really, really well, because all the answers for your own growth and all that sort of thing, they're all in here. All the answers to your past, they're all in here. Like, everything is inside you. The fact that the Justice card has come out means that we're talking about some sort of karmic lesson, right? That you have learned and are continuing to learn, right? It's not quite closed out yet. I've got a certain aspect of it is because of the Wheel of Fortune in your recent past, but I feel like the Justice card has got stuff kind of coming on here. And maybe this is something to do with the retrograde energy for you. This is possible. But there's another little mini ascension coming here for you, Taurus. I think you ought to be aware of it anyway. So, let's deconstruct this a little bit. The first card that you had come out was the Three of Cups. Now, this can mean a lot of things, and some of them negative, some of them positive, but I'm choosing to read it in a positive way because we've got this victory wreath at the top here, right? This laurel wreath. Standard symbol of victory. And being cups, it's about emotions, it's about feelings, and because it's three, it's external to you, right? So this is your emotional support network. These are your friends. These are the people who make your soul sing, right? The people who really bring value to your life. Now, the reason that I think it's come up in the recent past is because there's either a sense of you kind of learning who your friends are recently, like that's maybe been coming to the fore. Like, some of them have dropped away and some of them have kind of stepped up, and you can see them for the glorious beings that they are, and they've really, really supported you. But either way, I kind of feel you leaning into it a little bit, and that's good. It's good. It's what they're there for, right? And presumably you're doing the same for them, you know, as they're doing for you. Now, these cards that come up under here, we've got the Three of Wands. This is, again, external kind of energy, but it's about you turning your view to the future, really. I'm really delighted to see it for you, because there has been, for a long time, too much looking back, too much self-criticism, too much, looking for sticks to beat yourself with from the past. I feel like you are shaking those off finally, and perhaps one of the major ways in which you're shaking it off is with regard to your intimate relationships, your friendships, those really close people around you. You're not like worrying that you did the wrong thing or that you said the wrong thing. It's kind of like taking the emotion and the feeling that comes from them at face value. right? Which is kind of the way that they intend for you to take it. It's not looking for subtext anymore, right? It's really important. Now, I feel like it's been actually a major spiritual lesson for you. And this is why I said that you've got this kind of ascension coming up, but you've already started it. Whether you realise it or not, it's actually ongoing. It started in your recent past, because we've got this Wheel of Fortune here. Now, this can sometimes be a card of divine orchestration, but it seems like you hit the checkpoint exactly as you needed to. Like, all of this work that you've been doing on you, it is now kind of coming out in your relationships. It's coming out in the way that you deal with new people, right? There's a sense of comfort here, an increasing comfortableness with those people in your immediate environment, because you're relaxing in yourself, and it's people can see it, right? And those people that we like to be around, those people who just feel nice to be around, nice to spend time with, are those that sit comfortably in their own skin. You know, they don't feel like they've got anything to prove. They're not constantly anxious because they are worried about saying the wrong thing. And it's like, Taurus, you're becoming one of those people now. You're becoming to be, what the fuck? Mercury retrograde. You're really starting to get comfortable in your own skin, and you are becoming one of those people who has that kind of just that nice aura around them. They're just comfortable to be around, you know what I mean? There's no subtext, there's no front, there's nothing. There's just you. It's authenticity is what it is, right? You not second guessing your authenticity, more importantly. And then we've got these two cards here, these sevens, right? And sevens for me are very spiritual numbers, because they talk about integrating lessons of the past, right? It's where the soul growth occurs, and it's happened in your recent past. It's no coincidence that it's come up with the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Seven of Cups and the Seven of Wands. It's like, it just feels overwhelmingly positive. The Cups cards are about the feelings and the emotions, and the Wands cards are about, you know, your fire, the way you protect things, the way that you guard things. But neither of these feel particularly negative in any way, and there are ways of reading them negatively. It's like you've stopped hiding bits of yourself away, right? In the Seven of Cups, we've got this little chap here, and he's hiding behind a rock. And it's like, I'm constantly reminded, and this has come up a lot actually in the readings recently that I've done, where like people are very intrigued about this notion of shadow work, and it seems like most people have a general grasp of what it means and what it is that we tend to put into our shadow. But the thing that a lot of people miss is that we tend to put our gold into the shadow as well. You know, those things that truly make us special and unique, they go in there as well, because we're worried about standing out too much, right? If you stand up too much, you're separating yourself from the herd. You know, it isn't always the case, and your herd will stick with you, whatever, right? Bull gang. But just as you would not walk away from somebody who put their head above the parapet, you know, you're starting to relax in the notion that there are other people who will do the same for you, who will be your herd without judging you, without feeling like you're trying to separate yourself in some sort of way. So separation is an illusion, you know? You've stopped hiding your gold. Your authenticity is starting to come out. Taurus, this is beautiful. And the Seven of Wands, it feels more like you it's a protective energy. And I feel like it's definitely extended towards those people, you know, who have your loyalty. Those people that you want to protect. And it doesn't feel guarded in the slightest. It's kind of like a dropping of the guard. And it is what it is. It's dropping of the guard. But it's also a dropping of the need to overinvest in other people. Right? The investment is going on with you. And the really rather delightful thing is that it's not feeling disloyal to you anymore in a way that it might have done before. Like, you get it now. You understand what I've been banging on about for months. I really love this for you, Taurus. This is amazing. So, in your current energy, your current environment, we have two kings. We've got this King of Swords here, which is Aquarius, and we have this King of Wands, which is strictly Leo, right? not Sagittarius, Leo. It can be Aries or Sagittarius. Just going to say that. But actually, as I'm talking, I feel like it's more of an energy for you. Just as I feel like this isn't Aquarius or Libra or Gemini, but an energy for you. It's a clarity of thought. It's a clarity of thinking that you have not been blessed with for a very long time, maybe ever, right? Because the King of Swords is somebody who can make really insightful kind of judgments about things in some ways, right? He's concerned with the truth, but this is going straight to the top. Right. Where I see the rest of the court hierarchy, you know, like the page and the knight and the queen, I see those as kind of like varying levels of filter for information that comes through, right? The queen being the pinnacle filter. She sniffs out the bullshit. She gets rid of all the things that aren't actually relevant, that don't need to be considered, right? And then she presents it to the king. And the king, with all of this information, is able to make a reasoned decision one way or another for the good of the most amount of people, you know, because he clearly understands what it is that the queen has presented. This feels to me like this is the energy that you're in at the moment, right? You're really clear thinking. You see things for how they are, because all of the other extraneous stuff that has muddied your thinking for such a long time is fading. It's falling by the wayside. It's not something that you need to concern yourself with anymore. But more than that, because we've got the moon here to clarify, I feel like you're getting really, really clear about your internal space, right? You see it for what it is. Where once it was a mystery to you and you didn't really know where to start, it seems like you've got a handle on it now. And even if you haven't fully excavated all that it is that makes you you, it's kind of like you've got a roadmap to take you to the places that you don't know, right? And once you get there, you'll be able to see it for what it is, because you've got this new mindset, you've got this new way of thinking. It's absolutely fucking glorious. I can't tell you how excited I am about this, right? It's excellent. Let's see. And I'm not panicking about this being that random Saggy that came galloping in at the beginning of the year, because like this has come out a lot in the personal readings, so I'm just going to address it here because it just kind of disappeared, and I was like, well, that Sagittarius kind of disappeared as quickly as it appeared. And what it seems to have been is a disruption, right? There was something about your life and the way that you were existing that was uncomfortable for you, but you didn't notice because you're loyal and you're dedicated, and you know you don't like giving up on things. The Sagittarius energy, where it came in, was designed to show you where your life was lacking things, right? And it was a soulmate. It was galloping in to show you something, but as soon as you could see what it was that you were missing, then it was gone. So I kind of heart fluttered a little bit when this card came out, but I see this more now as the amalgamation of the lesson that the Sagittarius taught you. Whether or not you had a Saggy come in or not, there was a realization about the things that you have been missing from your life. The fact that the king is here now, I feel like, is not only is it a perfect balance here, because Aquarius and Leo are exact opposites on the zodiac, right? It's about you taking those things that you were missing. It's about taking the propensity that you had to live in the past, right, and kicking it into the long grass, because the King of Wands is in charge of living in the moment. Now, we like him more than we like the Knight, because the Knight is quite fickle and actually not very committed and just kind of flutters around being a social butterfly. But the King gets it. The King knows that there are things that he has to do. He knows that there are duties and responsibilities that he has to undertake, but he also very much lives in the moment. It's interesting how many people this has come up for in my personal readings recently, but from a slightly different standpoint, because I see the King of Wands as the shaman of the court cards, right? That's how he comes in. He's the shaman of the deck. He's the one that goes exploring, right? He goes investigating. He will conduct all of, you know, the duties of court that he's required to do. He will look after all the people that he needs to do. But if there's a smell of an adventure, if there's a smell of something new to go and explore, there he is. And what is it that you're exploring? Your internal space. Now, in order to do this in the most effective way, you have to develop a mindset that is more present than it has been before. And this is what you're doing. This is where you are. It's absolutely beautiful. But you're managing to temper it with a logic and rational thinking that eluded you at times. When that little voice was kind of whispering mean things in your ear, right? You've run it through with your sword, right? This is beautiful, Taurus. Absolutely beautiful. So, what's coming towards you, what you need to know about July, is the Seven of Wands again, and the Nine of Pentacles. What the fuck? The Nine of Cups. I really, really like this for you, right? Because the Seven of Wands is everything that I talked about. It is, potentially defensive, holy shit, potentially guarded, all of those, but it is protective as well. And that's how I see this here, right? See how this crow at the top there has got his foot on that one ace, and that ace is lit up, right, with fire inside. And there's all sorts of squawking and stuff going on down here, and all of these crows are like, like they do. And all of those ones are dropping. Like, you're keeping your foot on one ace, and you're like, this is my ace. This is, I'm going to do something with this ace. It's the same ace that this king is holding here, right? But it's kind of taking it, and it's re-skinning it, right, as a concept with a Taurian skin, right? Because what we've got here is patience. Right, that's what that crow's exhibiting there. He's got his foot on the wand. He knows that there will be a time where he needs to release that to do what it needs to do, but he knows it's not time yet, right? So he's standing on it and he's being patient about it. He knows that there is new, exciting things. There are new ways of reinvigorating his life, but he's kind of busy doing things at the moment. It's like you can elevate yourself above the squawking of the crowd, right? It doesn't bother you so much anymore because you're becoming comfortable with who you are. But the other thing that it talks about is this protective energy. And what is it that you're protecting? It's the Nine of Cups. For you, it is about knowing finally what it is that you want. Right? It's not having that long checklist of things that you don't want, which you accidentally draw towards you because that's what you're focusing on. I read a thing the other day and it said fear and worry is simply praying for something that you don't want to happen. And that's absolutely right. Like, the more energy that you put into worrying about things, being fearful about things, second-guessing things, overthinking things, the more you, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you tend to bring those things towards you. Whereas if you relax and you be comfortable in your skin, allow yourself to exist without apology, right? Without feeling like you need to, in some way, earn your right to existence. If you just be, right? Here you are. This is what you're pulling towards you. All of those things that you do want, right? But you're doing it because you are working on making yourself happy. And it's having an effect. Ask anyone around you. People can see the difference. I know this about you, Taurus. Like, I can feel it coming off you really, really strongly, right? The days of overthinking and anxiety are coming to an end, right? I feel this quite strongly. So then we have the Two of Swords, we have the Hierophant, and we have this Eight of Wands. The Two of Swords, it's really intriguing here in the John Bauer deck because it's cutting the head off a snake. Now, what is the snake? The snake for you is that internal voice, right? Sometimes it can talk about indecision, this card. It can talk about needing to make a decision about something. But it's like the root of the indecision for you, the thing that always made you kind of go back on what it was that you decided about something, when you were trying to settle your mind about what this person thought of you or how you'd behaved in this way or, whether you'd done something wrong. It was this snake kind of whittering in your ear about all of these things where you're about to cut the head off off it, right? This is ascension, right? I fucking run around with this snake head, just being all like, look at this fucking snake, I destroyed it, it's awesome. I mean, that's not a very vegan thing to say, I'm sorry about that, like, but I feel like it's kind of crux time for you now. I think that you know it too. Like, this snake is there, and in its last gasp, because you've been chasing this around the forest, right? With the work that you've been doing already, you've been chasing this snake around, and now it's like, it's the last stand, and one of you is going down, and it's going to be the snake, Taurus, right? Because you are finally stepping into who you are truly with the Hierophant. And remember that the Justice card was the shadow card at the bottom of the deck. Can you see the similarities in those, right? The Justice card here, and talking about, you know, your karmic path and all that kind of thing, and lessons to be learned. And there's you, like, getting up here on top of this rock, right? That rock, the just rock, where you should be. You're really, really starting to step into your own now, Taurus. This is exceptional. And when you cut the head off the snake, right? When you, in the month of July, feel justified in protecting what it is that you want, rather than second guessing it, rather than abdicating, you know, your needs in favour of others. There's a big change coming. There's a big shift. It's huge, massive. To quote my tarot cards, I can't see what it is, but there's a sense of increasing momentum associated with it, and this is fascinating to me. So, if this in any way has resonated with you, there is an extended. There's a link to it in the description box. Come over to Vimeo, which is where I'm going right now, to go and fucking pull this apart and see what this is all about, because I'm nosy. But if this is where we part ways, that's all cool. Also, I'm going to be back in less than 2 weeks for the mid-month readings, and thank you again for waiting for me. I appreciate that you did that. But otherwise, take care, and I'll see you soon.